Hello there, welcome back to the Four Corners Podcast, and today we're starting on episode 3. I mean, just wow, it's been a long time. It feels like a long time since we last recorded. There's a lot to...
Has it really been 3 episodes already?
Yeah, this is our third one.
Dude.
It feels like there's a lot to unpack.
That's
so
crazy.
Honestly,
crazy.
Spencer, would you like to open this up? Because I kind of want to get right into the big, juicy stuff that's going on in the nation right now, and that would be this police shooting stuff. I mean, I want to hear your thoughts. You're the most liberal guy here, so you got the most to say, I feel like, out of everybody. So let's open up with Spencer.
So the shooting of the young black man that happened, he's around 18 years old. I can't remember his name.
20.
Or I said around 18. He was shot by a police officer who mistook their their gun for a taser. And those are 2 different sizes. Hey, I gotta say that. But B, I think her name is Kim Potter. She is going to jail for a very long time, at least 12 years.
I think minimum is 10.
Yeah, 10 to 12 years. She needs to go away. Like, there's no way you mistake that. They were both also on opposite sides of the belt that she was wearing, so you can't just mistake it. And they're both 2 different sizes. And she literally on the tape went, oh God, I used a gun. I accidentally shot him. How the fuck do you accidentally use it? The velocity of a gun is different than a taser.
Here's what she actually said. Oh shit, I shot him. Like, at that point, why would you say, oh shit, like you made a mistake in the first place? Like, it's obviously a fucking cover-up. You can't sit there and say that this girl did not know. And I don't even care that she's a girl. It could be a fucking man. But she needs to spend at least half of her life in fucking prison. Half of the rest of her life. She's like fucking 40-some years old. She's been on the police force for 26 years. You don't make that mistake, especially in a fucking racism war like what's going on in the United States right now. And it happened in the fucking worst place it could have ever happened. Minneapolis, Minnesota. George Floyd trial. Going on right now. Are you fucking kidding me?
The police also just killed an unarmed 13-year-old black kid with his hands on tape. That's another one that just happened.
In Chicago, yeah.
That one's interesting, though. Because his 21-year-old brother gave him a gun.
Yeah.
Which is a little fucked up if you ask me. But what the fuck are you doing shooting a 13-year-old?
Right.
Yeah. Why aren't these cops using their fucking taser? That's what it's there for, to subdue.
We had one who thought they were using their taser.
Exactly. This thing is getting out of hand. They're
crazy.
Reaching for their pistol because they think everything's about life or death. As a cop, it's not. You have more power than you think.
You have options.
You have way more power. People are scared of you. It's just that 95% of these cops that are getting fucking caught up in this bullshit are from bigger cities that have a lot of gang violence and they're scared. Then don't be there. Bring in the fucking other cops to go to that city. Transfer more cops. If you're a cop, you should have to go places. It's just like the fucking military, in my opinion.
And honestly, as a black man myself, I don't see where this leads to, but more riots. Honestly, I feel it because I have a lot of obviously black family members, black friends, and I'm probably the most tempered of the bunch in that group that I know. And I don't really want to react with violence, but I just see it's just going to cause more protests, and that's going to lead to more riots because it's just
exactly.
But the problem is neither side wants to even compromise. Maybe we do really need to start doing something with this policing.
You guys want to know what I think? I think that they should replace guns with a non-lethal weapon.
What's that non-lethal weapon?
Yeah,
Mushrooms.
it all depends.
No, something that hits hard but doesn't kill.
Okay, Spencer, in a realistic aspect, what's your opinion?
I'm trying to talk.
Yeah, let Dylan
okay.
finish first.
Sorry, Dylan.
That's all good.
Finish up, Dylan.
Yeah, finish.
No, what I was saying is, the police should use a non-lethal weapon. They have done it before. I'm talking like hard rubber pellets. Same thing that they use for airsoft.
But you can't
It
use
hits
that.
hard to the point where it knocks them back. Like, oh shit, like to make them think that they got shot, but they didn't actually get shot, which gives the police that enough time to, like, you know, do something different besides fucking killing somebody.
Here's the thing, though.
Yeah.
What if that person that you're shooting with a non-rubber bullet has a fucking gun on them? That's the only thing. Because this 13-year-old apparently had a semi-automatic weapon.
Well, I guess in that case, you could make it so the citizens don't just have open
We
carry
have to get rid of
firearms.
the open carry law. We have to.
But
There's no way around it.
yeah,
As much as I want to be able to protect myself, there should be no reason to protect ourselves in a fucking society like the United States of America.
Yeah.
The money that comes into the United States is absolutely unreal.
yeah,
The people should be more protected. They should be more fucking helped out.
better funded.
We're not putting anything into the people. We're all putting everything into the government and trying to take over the fucking world, and it's not fucking right.
Well, here's just the deal. People carry those weapons on them because we don't know what kind of mental state somebody might be in. Out of the blue, dude, somebody could just come and fucking attack you out of nowhere.
Here's the
You don't
thing.
know, and especially if you're in Chicago or Minneapolis, and if you're in a place like that, that shit's real.
Yeah, but that's concealed carry. People carry guns on them. They don't
Exactly.
carry non-lethal weapons because everything's
No,
about.
I'm talking about the reason to get rid of this concealed carry.
Yeah.
At that point.
But you have to make everything non-lethal at that point. You cannot have lethal weapons and non-lethal weapons. Everything has to be non-lethal. If you factor in that life is so important that nobody deserves to die, then there can be nothing to kill you.
Well, it's not going to be that way.
But it has to be that way. There's no other way around it. There's
Yeah.
no way around it. If you want to live in the society that everybody sits here and fucking gets on their high horse and is like, oh, I want to live in this society. I want to live in this society. The only way you're going to do that is by taking away lethal fucking weapons.
Yeah.
Taking away opportunities for other people to kill people. And that's what you have prisons for,
Yeah.
is to put those people that want to kill people away. But imagine if all these people that kill people had non-lethal weapons. How many
They'd have to
times
do it
would
with
they
their
kill?
fist or a rock.
Have
or
rubber
something.
knives, breakaway knives, anything, something that doesn't penetrate human skin,
I mean,
but can cut a chicken.
it is something that a lot of people have been worried about as we keep developing a lot of these powerful weapons and putting it in the hands of these governments and police, and a lot of the things that have been happening where people are very worried about like supersonic missiles right now because they're basically they have the power of nuclear missiles, but they don't have that like radiation impact that would like end the planet. And so a lot of people are scared that we have these weapons that could just kill people.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, something else, instead of using lethal weapons, something that they could use, and something that it would be something that would be over the counter medically approved would be a tranquilizer instead of using guns, because it's going to set in sometimes within 5 to 10 seconds.
And then basically taser them.
Here's the thing, though, guys.
Everybody takes different treatment.
You have to give that to everybody. You can't just do that to cops. You can't put cops out on the street with fucking gangsters and drug dealers and fucking absolute fucking pieces of shit and expect them to live when people are carrying concealed carry and half of them don't even have a fucking license. It's just the way society is. If we want to get rid of something, we have to get rid of it completely. We have to outlaw it completely.
And
And that's why this gun law is such a big thing, because
The
there's
right to
these
bear arms.
fucking rednecks who want their guns, who want to fucking concealed carry just to be protected. Guess what? The only way you're going to feel protected is if your fucking government protects. And that's the only way around this shit. Our government needs to realize, hey, cops are killing people because they're fucking scared. This isn't just a one-way street.
No, there's a lot.
It's
a
another-
nuanced thing.
Like, we can get away with a lot of shit nowadays that we couldn't get away with 20 fucking years ago.
Yeah.
And honestly, as I said, this is only going to spark more violence eventually because the way I see it,
it's becoming guerrilla warfare in the United States.
against, it's against the cops of all people. Like, imagine 20 years ago thinking that like we would be at war with the police soon.
What's defunding the cops going to do? It's going to make crime.
I'm just saying it's
Yeah.
what you said.
And that's what they're trying to do.
Yeah.
And crime is going up.
Yeah, because you can't just defund the police. It doesn't work like that. There needs to be.
It's the law and order.
But that I get that.
But the thing is,
there needs to be policemen.
I get that.
If there's no policemen, there's going to be chaos.
I guess if I was to break down the defund,
people are going to go into the store. No, hold on. People are going to go into the store. They're going to rob shit. They're going to rob convenience stores. They're going to do whatever the fuck they want.
But at
Cops
this
are going to
point,
prevent that.
there needs to be non-lethal weapons in every single place. They need to stop making guns. They need to start making fucking these rubber bullets. Or
start making.
It's a great idea.
Or just fucking make everything about meleeing. You want to know? I'm a gamer. And the hardest fucking games to play are the ones where you don't have a gun.
Mm-hmm.
You have a fucking either a sword or a fucking knife and a fucking bow. And yeah, you kill people in that, but that's more about survival than anything.
Yeah.
Nowadays, we are all literally committed to survival, but we don't even need to be. We should be protected by our government.
Yeah, what's the U.S. Army for? What's the Navy for?
What is the fucking government for in the first place? We just voted for this motherfucker who's literally... There's been more shootings in the past fucking week than there has been in the past fucking 10 years.
4 years, I would even say. I'd argue just during the Trump presidency, actually.
I feel like you hear one every other day.
I'm not saying Trump should be president.
No, but I was just saying that
it's literally
it's
happened to the point where no matter who the fucking president is,
doesn't matter. It never mattered. It really never mattered because the president...
We need to start doing this ourselves.
Yeah.
We need to start taking action.
Because the president, honestly, is just a figurehead.
Here's what we do. We have to wait over a month.
Buy a
bill to pass.
Dill, you want to know what you do? You buy a fucking gun with rubber bullets. And that right there. If somebody's fucking stealing your car, trying to jack your car, you shoot them in the fucking goddamn leg with a rubber bullet.
I'm aiming for the chest.
Well, going back to Spencer's idea. Spencer,
it's the best idea, the best alternative.
I don't care where you
can
shoot
still have your pistol in your car.
I don't care where you shoot them.
Have your non-lethal on you at the time. If you really need that
you don't need that pistol.
If you
shouldn't.
It's gonna be a thing.
Well, shouldn't be.
I agree with you guys.
In the human sense,
in this society, there will be.
Yeah.
We really care about life.
And that's the thing, is the reality of the situation has made it where the people that are thinking in the way that me and Tyler really are the minority. Like if you're very stalwart about life, like you actually care about life a lot, you're kind of the minority. A lot of people want to be the morally right ones who have vanquished the enemy, whereas I don't want to vanquish the enemy. I'd rather make peace with the enemy.
Yeah, right.
Exactly.
Let me tell you guys.
That's why I'm a pacifist.
Yeah.
You've got Black Lives Matter. You've got fucking All Lives Matter. Mm-hmm. You've got every single fucking group basically into one, fending for their lives.
They all mean the same thing.
Why not have it be every life matters? And fucking get rid of all things that can kill people.
I can answer that for you. I can answer that for you right now. Right?
Please.
Okay. So don't bring up the Irish with me, first of all, when I say this. Don't bring up the Irish when I say this.
I know what he's going to say.
Look at the Irish.
No, I'm saying don't
talk about my people that way, Spencer.
You gotta get a 4-leaf clover, right? I'm talking Canadian, dude.
Don't bring up the Irish when I say this. Especially African American Black people have experienced more persecution and oppression than any other race in America's history.
Wait, who have?
The African Black people.
I would agree to that. Not gonna lie.
Why did you bring up Irish?
I agree.
Because the Irish were slaves.
That was because
I didn't even know that.
That was because the Irish nation went poor because of the potato famine.
And they were indentured servants. It wasn't. They weren't getting whipped or anything.
We couldn't live on our own land. That's the only reason why we were slaves.
So the African American population has been the most oppressed community for almost 300 years.
Are you part Irish?
I'm almost 75%.
Really?
Can I get my sentence out?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Can I get my sentence out, Dylan?
My grandparents.
Can you stop simping over Tyler?
Are from Ireland.
Really, that's crazy.
The Emerald Isle.
Emerald.
Anyway, Spencer,
let's-
continue.
Okay, yeah, fine. Continue.
Now, the African American population has been the most, and I'm going to repeat it for a third time because I keep getting interrupted about talking about four-leaf clovers every time. The African American population is the most oppressed population in America's history. Asians would be the next most oppressed population. I mean, other than the Native Americans that got raped and slaughtered. Now, listen.
That would be second.
Okay.
Asians probably third, just because of Hiroshima, but that wasn't even. Okay,
just listen. Okay, so it's not every human life does matter, but black lives, we need black lives to matter before every life matters because black people have been the most oppressed race.
So would you say that all these sayings mean the same thing in the end? We just got to watch out for each other.
No.
Yes.
No.
So wait, I want to know.
Black?
Wait, hold on. I want to know why. Sorry about. I didn't mean to cut you off there, but I want to know why Spencer doesn't. Because I've gotten that response from a lot of people that are pro Black Lives Matter. Where I'm not for or against. I'm just like doing my own thing out here.
Why
do you believe that?
Because of this. All lives cannot matter. Every life cannot matter until Black lives matter. Once Black people are equal, it can be applied to any race except for white people because white people have always been supremacy. Black lives, not all lives matter until not all lives can matter until Black lives matter and they are equal. And then moves on to the Asian community, the Native American community. It's essentially once racism is abolished or once racism goes away, which we should be around 2060 or like the 2100s when everybody looks vaguely mixed, which is scientifically going to happen. The fact of the matter is that at that point, somewhere I would guess in the 2100s, the 2200s, racism will no longer be a thing because we will all be looking very much the same.
Here's just the thing. Everybody right now, I have nothing against Black Lives Matter. Like I'll support it. I'll support anybody who supports. You had recently these, Asians. This whole Asian
that was terrible.
incidents that happened.
It's still going on too.
But here's the deal.
It's still going on.
We let our guards down because we were too focused on Black Lives Matter.
No, we weren't too focused. It was just
how are we not? We weren't even thinking about Asians.
No, we weren't. We really not
we
at
weren't
the time.
even
Definitely
thinking about them.
No.
And that's where
we need
all
to.
life matter come in place.
But you see, that's where
you know what I mean. Like
that's where I've always
just
said
common sense.
All right, here's the thing, Spencer. I disagree with you because there is no such thing as white supremacy.
Are you fucking kidding me?
No,
the KKK?
No, there is. That's
in the United States. That's a thing.
That's living in denial. If you
But
say there's
everywhere
no white
else?
supremacy.
No, there is.
There's supremacy.
It is a thing.
There's supremacy of all races.
It's a thing.
White is not a race.
Yes, are you?
Well,
no, it's
okay.
not. No, hold on. Let me explain myself.
European.
No, let me explain myself.
Caucasian.
We took this country over as Europeans.
Yeah.
We were from England.
Which are white people.
Caucasian.
They were not all white. Half of them were Spanish immigrants.
Okay, so we're all mixed.
Sometimes there was a little Asian population thrown in there because the Asians actually controlled.
But the fact of the matter is that they are predominantly white. The predominant white.
That's only in the United States.
Yes, there is a problem with white supremacy in the United States. I can't speak for any other countries because I haven't done research, but I can tell you in the United States, white supremacy is a very real thing.
That goes for everywhere.
But
I'm not saying it's not a real thing in the United States. I'm saying everywhere. I'm talking about the whole entire world.
I understand that.
Yeah. And that's
white supremacy is just a big thing in the United States, but the only reason why black people are suppressed is because we had them as slaves at one point. Us white people.
We felt them as lesser than.
But if we choose to believe that shit that happened between 1800 and, 50, whatever, to 1865, didn't fucking happen. It's all about changing your history. And BLM is not making that progressive at all.
It's just starting riots.
I don't think so.
The riots are needed.
BLM is focused towards one race.
In my opinion.
Which is not what we need right now.
We
We need something that is focused.
Are you on crack?
Be respectful.
How am I on crack?
I am being respectful.
Do you
This is a
realize-
podcast, homie.
Do you realize how many people I grew up hanging out with black people?
Me too.
I don't think you did.
I lived in a predominantly white community, but I did have black friends.
But
We're not going to get into that. Anyways,
I was saying we're not going to tokenize black people.
we're not.
I'm not.
Not on this podcast. We are
We'll
not the
edit
mainstream
this.
media.
We'll edit
We're
this.
not going to be that
Anyways,
person.
so the shit
Yeah.
that they got put through. You look at the fucking 80s, the crack epidemic.
That's because of Ronald Reagan,
Exactly.
a white person.
I'm not talking about white or black right now. I'm
But
talking about
You
putting,
are.
to be
putting
fair,
races.
that is kind of the crux of the matter with that situation.
Putting races.
He wanted to target minority communities.
He did.
Because
And you want to know
they
why
were
he
his
did?
biggest opposition.
Because they were an easy target.
No, they were his biggest
Because they
opposition.
lived in poor neighborhoods
well,
to where
yeah.
No,
they
Terrence
wanted
is
to
correct.
make money.
Well, that has a
In a
part of
certain
it,
way.
but it was really just because they're his biggest opposition, and
But look at it
doesn't
now.
matter who you are. If you're the president's biggest opposition,
It doesn't
they'll
matter if you're
bulldoze you out of the
white,
way.
black, Asian, fucking Mexican, anything.
Oh yeah,
We're all trying to make money.
they'll
We're all
bulldoze us out of
trying
the
to
way.
survive, and the only way to survive is to make money. I just bought a PS5. And guess what? It was the fucking hardest thing I've ever had to do in my life because I had to sit there and wait and wait and wait. But I wasn't competing just against fucking Mexicans. I wasn't just competing against white people. I wasn't just competing against black people. I was competing against everybody. But I was competing to either play the fucking PS5 or to resell it.
Mm.
And the resale market is up to $750.
And I would even
And you
say-
have black, white, Mexican, everybody taking advantage of this opportunity. This United States of America is all about opportunity.
pretty
and yes,
crap opportunity.
Black people have it way harder than anybody else. But that doesn't mean that you create a certain group, because all these groups do is pit us against each other.
No.
That's not the point of Black Lives Matter. That is one thing that a lot of people get wrong. Black Lives Matter didn't do that. That was the media, because the media loves to stir division.
But that's the thing.
The
If
message
we're
of Black
running
Lives
a
Matter-
white supremacy
But that
fucking area, of course the media is going to put Black Lives Matter.
that's because the media
Okay,
loves to
this
show
is
division.
the definition of BLM. Is a decentralized political and a social movement. It's not decentralized means it's not run by one person. It's just a movement protesting specifically against incidents of police violence and racially motivated violence against black people. And that's what happens. It's not against Asian people. Most of the police violence is not against Asian people. It's not against white people. White people can, a fucking white person can walk into a fucking elementary school, shoot 7 kids and come out alive. A dude who gets pulled over for a traffic stop for a fucking air freshener and gets shot 6 times. It's predominantly black people who are targeted by the
And
police.
those-
Tyler, we live in do you know what a sundown town is? The cross from the 50s to the 80s and still now today is a sundown town. It is a predominantly, this is a white community that predominantly tries to push out black people. And obviously, it's not that way anymore, but that's how it was. The mayor had to apologize in 2014 because this was a sundown town. He had to make reparations, and that's why we've seen it improve. But if you would have lived here in the 60s and 70s and the 80s, there was movements to push black people out of the cross. The police
And
were
do you
racially
realize-
motivated.
Do you realize it hasn't gotten any better?
I'm understanding. This is still a sundown town. You know how bad it is for black people when they go out at night here? No offense, Terrence.
No, you're good. But I mean, I don't think it's that bad.
We got the
just call him Quez.
Yeah, you called him Quez.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I talked to Quez all day. Quez is also black. Quez is one of my.
No, you called Tyler.
See,
Quez.
I'm not black.
Yeah, you called.
I'm trying to be a part of the black team.
Did you
But-
notice that?
I did.
Here's the thing. I wanted to be black. When I was in 5th grade, I wanted to be black. You want to know why? Because I wanted to be an athlete. I wanted to be fucking better than I was as a white kid. Because I thought black people were better. But then I listened and I realized black people got it way fucking harder than white people. But that doesn't mean you go and create a fucking group. You go and find your white brothers, and you go and you fucking protest that shit. You go and fucking you recognize who the fuck you need to follow.
And that's what
these Black Lives
But that's
Matter
what
people,
that is.
That's no.
No, that's the thing. People don't understand because of the media. The media came in and started saying a lot of this. Oh, this is what they're trying to, because it all started with Colin Kaepernick's protests. Is when that's when Black Lives Matter like really took the center stage. And,
that's what they were pushing for.
Hold on. This is something that a lot of people just hold on, but you see, that's what you were arguing for. You wanted black people, white people, Mexican people, no matter, just people, to stand up and do something. Granted, I don't think kneeling for the national anthem was the best way to do it, because that was the media. It was a good way, but the media it was
way up.
Problem is, it was too easy. It was too easy for the media to spin into something negative. Because they immediately turned it into they spun it into the military, and it had nothing to do with the military at that point, but that's just what they spun it into. And then as the media kept spinning Black Lives Matter's like actual protests, I feel like that's what led up to the violence you saw in 2020.
I feel like it's just become more of a violent thing now.
Well, that's because
everything's about violence.
That's what it is.
I feel like I got warped into
and
that.
That's what I was trying to get into. Is everything's about trying to be the best.
There has to be,
but it used to not be that way.
No, it used to be cool. It used to be chill. But nowadays, everybody wants to fucking make that buck, and that's all it's about. It ain't about fucking whose side you're on. It ain't about fucking whether or not you fucking look at each other the same way as that fucking other person looks at you. It's about fucking literally making $1. And that's becoming a problem.
Can I say something real quick?
Yes.
Okay.
Of course, always.
So, the violence you guys are talking about, right? Joseph Robinette Biden Jr., right? The current president, who Tyler thinks is a fucking hologram for some reason.
He is a fucking hologram.
You never know.
What were you talking about that earlier?
Listen to me though.
That dude's dead.
Listen to me though. Listen to me.
He died 5 years ago. It's just a hologram now.
Yeah.
Listen to me though.
I will make sure everything appreciate back of you.
We're leaving this in. We're leaving this in, by the way. This is staying in.
Yeah. I'll show you.
No, this is staying in.
No.
Yes.
We're not editing that part. All right, Spencer, go.
Let Spencer go.
So what I was gonna say is, the violence that's come from the protests has been widely denounced, even by people like Trump. I do not agree with violent protesting at all. Burning down buildings or anything, I absolutely do not agree with that.
What the fuck has Biden said?
Biden said, "Do not do that."
That's all he said was, "Do not do that."
Peaceful picketing and whatever the fuck is called, protesting is part of our Constitution. You're allowed to do that.
I'm not saying we're not allowed to do that. I'm saying that's all he said was, "Do not do that."
He said, "Do not." He says, "I do not support violent protest."
Yeah, he's a fucking hologram. And that's the exact reason why. Is because he's not reaching out. He fucking was the vice president of the first black president of the United States of America. Are you kidding me?
He's a hologram.
And that's all he has to say?
He's a hologram, though.
That's all he has to say is, "Oh, you guys shouldn't do that." Come on now, man.
Here, I got a perfect example.
If you're in the cause, you're in the cause. If you're not, if you're not.
I have a perfect example of why he's a hologram. Yeah, hold up.
I wish y'all could see this right now. You know what he's talking about. He fucking was the vice president of our first black president.
Yeah.
And guess what? Here's a black vice president.
And now he's the president. And yeah, he has a... Is she really even black?
Yes.
Do any of us know that?
Do we know that you're white? Fuck off.
I mean, I'm going to assume she is.
I don't know if she is.
I identify
She looks
as a
black.
trade.
She looks like it, but there's a lot of fucking black people
I guess you never know.
that
but
don't
I would
look like
assume
they're
she
black.
is.
And there's a lot of fucking people that aren't black
For
that
example,
look like they're black.
Logic.
It's just the way the world works, man. Like,
Well,
they're
to be
trying
fair,
to pit-
race. I will admit this about race.
they're trying to pit us
Race-
together. Or
race
pit us
doesn't-
against each other.
I would say race was not ever really a proven thing to exist like that.
Race should never
'cause-
have been a thing.
I would say they're benefiting off of the race wars that always go on. And by they, I mean the elite and the government. The people who actually have power benefit from all of us fighting each other like that. But one thing I have noticed from a lot of that kind of nonsense was, think about it this way. There's no race gene.
No.
So does race even really exist beyond the social stakes, social pragmatic of it,
The only thing that exists is the fact that people are bullshit.
Right? And so because of that...
People like to fucking make shit up in their own heads to feel fucking
special,
confident about themselves. And they like to tear people down. And the fact is that these cops apparently like to fucking tear black people down.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's stemming from the 90s when black people were roaming the earth with so much money you couldn't even fucking count it. But I don't, it's kind of seeming like that. It's kind of seeming like this is stemming from fucking the 1990s or 1980s.
Everything did. The black people were getting out of poverty and everything like that. The communities were pulling themselves out of poverty. And then Ronald Reagan, the demon person he is, went, let's introduce crack to these communities. Yeah.
That was a big thing, man. And these motherfuckers made money. Yeah. They made bank. But yet, if you were a black person that got caught with crack and you were a white person that got caught with crack, everything was totally different. If you were a black person that got caught, you were facing 15 fucking years in prison. If you were a white person that got caught, you got slapped on the wrist and got sent to rehab.
You got a little ticket.
That's some bullshit, man.
And now there's Oregon. We can do that and not get in trouble.
We are all fucking brothers. We all deserve the same fucking sentence that each other deserve, committing the same crime. Yeah. But if you're going to set somebody up intentionally, then fuck you. And that's all I got to say about that.
Alright, guys. Next topic, baby. We got MCU. Did you guys see that current episode?
Honestly, I have not seen any.
I can tell you what happens though.
You're gonna catch me up, Spencer. Spencer, you should catch us up. You're the narrator. You're the good stuff.
I haven't seen all the episodes, but I watched breakdowns. But essentially, what happened is this, right? So
we'll talk about it as a whole.
Do you guys get
what's going on since like episode 1 to now?
It doesn't matter if you spoil it because even if you watch it, it'll still be
spoilers up ahead for Falcon and the Winter Soldier. By the way,
you know what's gonna happen, but it's gonna give you goosebumps if you watch it anyway.
So if you don't want to know the spoilers for Falcon and the Winter Soldier, for starting from episode 1 to now, click off. We'll see you next time, or just skip ahead probably 20 minutes.
This episode 4 or 5?
3.
I'm pretty sure it's 4.
It's 3.
No, it's 3.
Falcon and Winter Soldier or the podcast? This is 3.
Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Actually, episode 5. Episode 5 comes out tonight.
It comes out tonight?
Uh-huh.
I'm watching that shit.
So what's going on?
It came out last night at midnight.
It's getting good.
Nope.
Oh no!
So what's the gist of the story?
This is the last one.
So basically,
next week.
Here I'll tell you what happened. So basically, Battlestar. Do you guys know who Battlestar is?
No, you're gonna have to catch me up on everything
America
a little
kills
bit.
Somebody.
Yeah, no. Captain America kills. Well,
that's as far as I got.
Because Battlestar, Captain America's new his sidekick kind of deal in the show, dies because he gets his spine fucking.
These motherfuckers that they're facing are just
strong as fuck. They're super
elite.
soldiers.
Yeah,
they're super soldiers.
It's all Bucky.
So you see this fury in Captain America's eyes, and all the super soldiers like, oh shit, we fucked up. So they all go running, and all of a sudden Captain America goes dashing through a window, straight up jumps through a fucking window, 15 feet in the air, and he knocks down one of the super soldiers. And in rage, he takes his shield and plunges it right into his chest, multiple times.
Yeah,
I saw that was one of the fucked up, one of the most fucked up scenes in the MCU.
Marvel's gonna get dark.
It is. It's gonna be.
You guys know
almost like DC.
Do you guys know in France that Falcon the Winter Soldier got rated TB mature instead of TB 14?
Did you see New Mutants?
Yeah, New Mutants is good.
New Mutants is fucked up.
Yeah. What's it about?
That's a fucked up
New
movie.
Mutants.
There is some suicidal. There's some suicidal shit going on in there. There's some fucking goddamn hallucinations going on.
There was a fucking girl on fire.
Zombies.
I just can't even. I don't know.
What's it about?
It's about.
It's the X-Men, but
it's like an X-Men.
It's like X-Men, but an offshoot.
What
it's like the killers of X-Men. Who this is going to get turned into something only because of the way it ended.
No, they canceled it for the MCU.
They shouldn't have.
They did.
Wasn't it supposed to be like a Halloween thing, right?
Why?
I remember. Wasn't it last year?
Yeah, that was last year.
I remember this. 'Cause we were watching the trailers
Why
for
they
the summer.
cancel it?
Yeah.
Because Marvel bought Fox, so they canceled the sequels. It was supposed to be a trilogy, and they canceled it.
So do you think that
I
they'll
wouldn't
bring
even
the?
made it into a sequel. I would have made it into a fucking TV show.
No,
Yeah.
canceled it.
I don't think they should do any more.
So essentially,
TV
they were
shows.
stuck. They were stuck. It was a bunch of like lesser mutants, lesser known mutants stuck.
They were in a foster home.
It was foster home slash mental hospital.
No, it was a
thing.
mental
It
hospital.
was a
Yeah.
mental hospital?
Yeah.
Yeah, a mental hospital, and and there was like cannonball. Somebody who could like go into like
They
this
all
different
killed
dimension.
people with their powers.
Yeah, and essentially there was a demon bears, like the big bad of the besides the weird lady.
She was the strongest fucking Marvel
and
superhero.
so Demon
all
Bear eats Mean Lady, who was the villain, basically the red herring in the movie, eats Mean Lady, and then they all just fight a giant fucking bear. But it looked
Yeah.
cool.
That
It
sounds
looked
like
sick
an
as
interesting
hell.
premise.
Dude, it was,
I thought, honestly,
it was scary.
Did they
it was
escape?
kind
or
of
no?
boring before then, but when it got to the climax, it was like, holy shit.
Well, the climax is always the best, isn't it?
Like, but this was actually happening. Like, that's never happened in a Marvel movie. And the fact that it was in association with Marvel, it was like, okay, this is some interesting shit.
Yeah.
Well, because they used your worst fears.
But they're remaking all these movies, and it's like they haven't even come out with fucking Black Widow yet.
Oh,
Which
they might-
pisses
Have
me
you
off.
seen her new suit? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's nice.
It
but
looks so
at
clean.
the same time, Black Widow should have been before Endgame.
Tyler.
Yeah, I'm no longer
you guys
hyped for
hear
Black
something-
Widow
you guys
at
hear
all.
something
I never
fucked?
really was, but now I'm kind of just like,
You guys want to do something fucked because they don't want to spend as much money. They might give instead of giving Wolverine a movie.
It's like they knew the pandemic was coming. That's why they fucking made Endgame.
Instead of giving Wolverine a movie in the MCU, they might just give him a Disney Plus series, and that's it.
I'd rather have
why? I'd rather have movies because like it's the MCU cinematic universe. I mean, I guess it makes
Logan
sense that
died.
TV shows.
Logan-
But
Logan. They're gonna
that was-
recast him.
That was.
That was Fox.
because now they have the whole multiverse.
well, I should ask you guys
Here's
this.
the thing. I
Or,
don't give
I
a
wanna
fuck
start
about
Dylan.
the multiverse. I
Uh,
care more about like sticking to the story. Like what's gonna happen after Endgame.
Well, that's just the thing. The
Yeah.
multiverse is going to be incorporated.
I was about to ask Dylan that.
Far From Home's the only thing that's ever touched
That movie's going to be insane.
on anything after Endgame. Well, I guess WandaVision did a little bit. Captain America doesn't really a whole lot.
Do you think they should bring the X-Men into the fold?
X-Men, dude. If they brought X-Men into actual MCU,
Spencer, what do you think?
like we're talking like Avengers
have
and
to.
shit, that would be insane.
Do I think they should bring the X-Men? into
It would be
the MCU?
overpowered.
Yeah,
Do you think that they should?
I think that they should start with reintroducing Quicksilver as an X-Men, like so we can like somebody that we already know, maybe bringing him back to life, and then
It
introduce.
can't
him.
be Quicksilver.
Or do you know what they should do? I think they should introduce somebody like Scott Summers as Cyclops, somebody
Yeah.
who's
Yeah.
Somebody
Who's not like a
more
big,
low-key,
well-known one.
Who's
I
more
want
low-key.
fucking Jean Grey.
Someone who isn't like someone
I
who's
want
well known
fucking-
enough
not a
for the
Logan,
X-Men,
not
but
a
like
Wolverine.
isn't in the MCU
But,
yet.
don't bring in Wolverine right away.
I want
Don't
the
bring in
Phoenix.
Professor X.
I want the Phoenix fucking rises.
They're not doing that again. They said
But
they're not going to do it
I
again.
want it MCU style.
They said they're not going to do it again.
I'm saying make Jean
Here's-
Grey's character more
That'd be
important
cool.
than it was in fucking
Here's the
X-Men.
deal. I'm just gonna say something. What they need to do is they need to start with a smaller character,
Scott Summers.
build it up, and have the climax be
Spencer's
All
Scott
of them.
Summers, isn't he?
They will.
meeting and kicking
As soon as-
some
As soon as
ass, baby.
Galactus, I think as soon as Galactus comes into the fold, I think that they're
Kang the
they're not
Conqueror's
going to
big
be
bad.
able. They're not going to be able to.
King the Conqueror is the next big bad.
No,
He's
it's
being-
not.
He was teased in WandaVision. He's being teased in Loki. He was
Wait,
teased in.
King the Conqueror, is that the
Who's that?
I'm talking about the overall bet.
He's
There was a
He
lot
is
of.
the overall bad.
No, he's not.
Yes, he
you
is.
think so?
I'm almost 100% sure because I watch a guy named Soups who like his life. He gets paid to analyze this shit.
Well, don't I think we should I think like before we rate the big bad, I think we should at least wait for a couple more movies, you know what I mean? Because it's hard to tell.
Who is King the Conqueror?
I feel like
I've never
Yeah.
heard of him.
isn't
Who
he
the
from
fuck
like
is
the
that?
isn't he from the quantum realm? Actually?
No, he's.
Yes, he's from the quantum realm, I swear to God. Yes he
Isn't
is.
he only a bad guy?
He's one of the
in Black
Fantastic
Panther,
Four's
though?
villains. Yeah, he's one of the Fantastic
No,
Four's
this is
villains.
King the
I
Conqueror.
swear to God. He's from the quantum realm.
That's another purple monster.
Oh, he's blue,
Another blue
Or
monster.
am I thinking of a different character?
but he's played by a black guy.
Who am I thinking of? There's another like big bad in the Marvel universe who's from the quantum realm, and that would have actually been a perfect segue from Endgame to have
Okay.
a big bad from there.
Doctor
Nightmare.
Who was it?
Nightmare.
Nightmare.
Oh,
Okay.
I'm pretty sure
No, Nightmare I thought was from
Nightmare.
Hell. Or
No, he's from.
Mephisto is from Hell.
oh yeah.
I keep getting DC and Marvel mixed up when it comes to the big bad.
The big bads, the dark
I can
sides,
tell
the
you-
Thanoses.
Yeah.
Ra's al Ghul is DC, Joker's DC, Deathstroke's DC, Deadpool is Marvel.
Deadpool almost seems like a DCU character at this point.
Do
I'm
you-
not even gonna lie.
Do you guys think that Deadpool should cross over to the MCU, or do you think he
No.
should stay his own thing? I kind of think he should stay his own thing.
I think he
it's
should
better
stay
that
his
way.
own thing. He rocks being his own
He
thing.
does.
He would break
Yeah.
it. Like, he would break the immersion of it.
They need
They-
to. They need to make these things more relevant, and that's an association with Marvel.
Yeah, maybe he could team up
Because-
with someone from the MCU, but he
Yeah.
can't.
Honestly, like if Marvel doesn't want to make it, then don't fucking make it. But let somebody else make it. 'Cause
Yeah,
these comics are fucking getting left out.
like we should
Like
not.
if Kane the Conqueror is the next bad guy, fuck that. Where the fuck is Galactus? You're talking about Thanos as the best bad guy of all time.
He was great. He was a
Oh,
great
he was
villain.
great.
Infinity War, best movie. Best superhero movie of all time. Hands down. The ending, greatest ending of all time.
That's because it ended differently.
Doesn't matter if it ended different.
No, that's what made it so great.
Yeah,
because it
that's
ended
why
with
it's the
those
greatest.
superhero-
Can I
Because it ended differently.
Can I-
But that's not the only reason why it was great. Picture the opening fucking thing where the two strongest out of the Avengers are getting their fucking asses handed to them.
Thor and Hulk.
Thor and Hulk get their
Yeah.
asses whooped by Thanos.
Yeah.
And that's a segue into Thanos just dominating the entire movie. He beats Iron Man so bad, he ends up stabbing him. And Doctor fucking Strange goes through, I don't know, I think it's like 1,600,000 fucking
It's a
different
big number.
possibilities.
It's a big number.
Yeah. He goes through all those possibilities, and there's only one way to save it, and that's saving Tony Stark. And then Tony Stark becomes the legend, the hero.
Yeah.
But yet Thanos still is the biggest baddie of all time.
No.
And then you're gonna go with Kane the Conqueror. What the
Actually,
fuck's he gonna do?
I've heard of him. So apparently he's from the other Earth, which would make sense if he did the multiverse.
So I can tell you essentially what's going to happen because I watched hours and hours of search because I'm home all the time. So essentially this is happening right now, right? So King the Conqueror was and you remember that room that Wanda went into, the
cabin.
the Agatha thing. Yeah. So there was a little inscription of the place that Kang came from. And Loki, right? Kang shows up in a stained glass mirror, right? Kang the Conqueror shows up in a stained glass mirror, and he's part of time, which is also part of the quantum realm.
Yeah.
Now, the quantum realm, why he's being introduced, he's not the main villain of Ant-Man or Ant-Man.
For some of our viewers, explain what the quantum realm is.
The quantum realm is basically a particle realm that is subservient to our own. I don't know if that's the right word, but it's very small, and you can travel through time through it. Essentially,
It's-
quantum physics, everything like that.
Yeah.
And
Okay, because I didn't know what it was. It was an excuse.
It's basically like it's basically like another realm that
where
you could go to
anything can happen.
if you're super smart in science.
Yes.
It's almost like changing time.
And so
So King the Conqueror is insanely smart like Thanos.
No, King the Conqueror is a being from the quantum realm, and essentially what's going to happen is he's going to he's going to be teased in Loki because that's a time travel adventure. He was teased in WandaVision. He's going to
You
be
think
teased.
they're gonna spend 24 more movies on Kane the Conqueror?
Yes, and then I think they're going to
I
go Galactus.
24 more
I
movies?
think
It
you're
was 23 for
I
phase
think-
1, 2, 3.
I think you're insane.
I don't.
And I think they might spend a new Avengers movie on him, but I don't
Oh, yeah,
think
no, I don't
they're
think-
gonna spend
no.
24 movies on him.
Because they wouldn't introduce.
He's not going to be
No.
he's going to be like an Ultron.
He's gonna be
Yeah.
he's gonna be a little minion.
He's going to be like an
Galactus.
Ultron.
No, he's gonna be like a Ronin.
But essentially,
No, he's too powerful for that.
Well, I think what's going to happen is they're going to
He's
use him.
still-
They're going to use him
But
for a young
Galactus
Avengers
is
movie.
the most
Yeah.
all-powerful.
No,
villain.
I know. But I agree with Spencer.
And I think-
I actually more agree with Dylan. I think he's going to be an Ultron because it's said. I literally just looked him up. He's a villain that all the Avengers had to take on. So you can't just have him play
Yeah,
a
and
minion.
essentially what I think they're
He
gonna
can't
do,
be Talos from Captain Marvel.
I think they're
Yeah.
what I think they're going to do is this. I think they're going to have him. They wouldn't introduce him in Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania if he was like they did. Like they would have him as an end credit scene if it was like that. They wouldn't announce him as part of the main cast. So I don't think he's a big bad.
No.
But what I think they're doing is this. They're going to introduce two teams of Avengers. They're going to have the normal Avengers, the adult Avengers, and the young Avengers, right? They're going to work together, and then they're eventually it's going to be the young Avengers growing up so they can have a whole new cast. It's not 45-year-olds. You get what I'm saying? Because then all the new Avengers that are coming up, the girls and Tom Holland and them, are all in their early 20s, all of them. So they can have another cast that they can grow up with. So what's going to happen is they're going to take Doctor Strange, everything, do 2 more Avengers movies with them, or another Avengers movie with Doctor Strange, another Avengers movie with the older ones. You know what I mean? Ant-Man and everything. The new Avengers. Well, just listen to me finish what I'm going to say, and then they're going to move forward, right? And they're going to give the young Avengers, or what we're going to call Stature, Spider-Man, Shuri's Black Panther, stuff like that. They're America Chavez, which is Doctor Strange version 2.
What the fuck is Stature?
Stature is Ant-Man's daughter. America Chavez, who is Doctor Strange version 2, essentially. All these people, they're going to be pushed on, and there's going to be an Avengers 4, and that's going to essentially phase out Ant-Man. It's going to phase out Doctor Strange. They were already in 2 Avengers movies. You know what I mean? It's going to phase out all those people, right? And then for Avengers 5 and 6 and 7, or 5, 6, 7, and 8, or no, so for Avengers 5, it's going to be the old and the new, and then 6, 7, and 8, it's going to be
the new,
which is going to be Spider-Man.
You think they're going to kill off?
I think they're going to kill. I think Ant-Man's going to retire. I think Doctor Strange is going to be killed off. I think that
the new Avengers are going to be the new Avengers. There's not going to be any Doctor Strange.
There's not going to
be any.
Wanda will be part of the new Avengers.
Totally different.
Wanda will be part of the new Avengers. Vision will. I think.
Why do you think that?
Vision's dead, dude.
No, there's White Vision.
Vision's dead.
Why do you think Wanda will be?
I think Wanda will be a mentor role to people like America Chavez, Miss Marvel. I think that she's going to be a mentor
She'll
role.
be a part of the movie, but she's not going to be in the movie.
I think what's going to essentially happen is Captain Marvel, Wanda, Doctor Strange, and Ant-Man are going to be discontinued after their sequels. I think Captain Marvel will have Captain Marvel 2 and 3 and be in Avengers 4 or be in Avengers 5 and 6.
They're going to blow our minds with all this new shit.
You want to know who I think is going to be a new Avenger?
Who?
That black chick that was Captain Marvel.
She is.
Captain Marvel's friend's daughter.
She's going to be one of them.
Yeah, and she's going to take over for Captain Marvel.
What's her name? Stature?
Stature is
going to be one of them as well.
Stature's going to take over for Ant-Man.
There's going to be 4 other ones. There might be even
Fantastic
more.
4 as well. I forgot.
There might be even more than 6 because you don't even know.
They have to be in
the
there.
way movies are going, like with Zack Snyder's Justice League, somebody's going to have to top that 4-hour platform.
Yeah.
Thinking about releasing a 6-hour cut of Endgame.
I don't honestly know.
Yeah, no, I heard about that.
I'm thinking about releasing a 6-hour cut of Endgame.
I don't honestly know if I can sit there and watch a movie for 6 hours.
I don't think they should.
4 hours was a good mark.
4 hours ain't even that great. Like 3 hours and 30 minutes, like Endgame was.
That's already enough.
At that end scene, I was ready to fucking get the fuck out of there.
Do you remember where we went, dude? We went to the fucking car to go to the grocery store because I had a fucking headache.
Yeah, and to get alcohol.
Yeah, went to the store right across the street.
Yeah, but anyways,
Mike's hard.
After Endgame, I could not calm down. Imagine watching a movie for 6 fucking hours.
I can't sit.
You have to work for 6 hours. Imagine having to sit down and watch a movie.
That's why I wasn't.
You'd have to pee.
I wasn't able to finish fucking Snyder Cut, dude. It was too long.
I finished it over 4 different,
especially since you know what happens.
Days. I watched it in 4 parts.
It was just too long, man.
I feel like you can't know what happens when you watch movies like that.
Do it.
Because when you already know what happens, it cheapens everything.
But with the MCU, the way I think they're going to go is I think Galactus is coming. And I think they're going to go from Galactus into Apocalypse. And the only reason why I think
X-Men's main villain? No, I'm just kidding.
That's not even just the X-Men. That's the entire world at that point. But the X-Men are going to be introduced into that as the main fighters because that's what everybody loves. That's the one thing that everybody grew up on was the X-Men.
No,
there wasn't.
It's Spider-Man.
It's Spider-Man
is easily Marvel's best.
X-Men,
at least most popular.
X-Men was more like marketed.
No, Spider-Man is way more well known than the X-Men ever.
I can just see it.
I'm not saying that.
I can see it right now.
Spider-Man is something that Marvel can't touch.
No.
And it's going to be something that Marvel can't touch for a really long time if Sony keeps selling its games.
Guys, I want to say something. I'm going to say something.
But the X-Men, everybody can relate to some X-Men. Because there's Wolverine, there's the Beast, there's Cyclops, there's fucking Rogue, there's fucking Jean Grey, there's fucking...
Charles Xavier. Magneto would be an excellent villain, I think, honestly, for the
Exactly.
So I think the X-Men should be a top priority, actually.
But they're not going to get introduced until it's good and ready. And I think the only way to introduce them is by fighting Galactus, and then they go off, do their own thing, and then Apocalypse comes along, and then you bring back the Avengers. And you bring back fucking Tony Stark.
No. He's never coming back.
No, it's not going to be Robert Downey Jr., but you bring back a Tony Stark character.
Hold me, do you know who's going to be? Ironheart. Because she's coming.
Dead.
There's literally an Ironheart TV series. She is Iron Man V2.
I would say he's dead. Don't bring him back.
They have Ironheart coming. Dominique Wright's
that would
Ironheart.
ruin his character if they brought him back.
No, it's a Tony Stark character. It's not Tony Stark.
That'd be Ironheart.
Why?
She's like a Shuri, but in Iron Man suit.
You already have that in Spider-Man.
Yeah, like Spider-Man. Tom Holland's Spider-Man is Iron Man
They
V2.
kind of fucked up with Spider-Man.
No, they didn't.
They did a little bit.
No, they didn't.
Sony.
They built him up to be the next Tony Stark.
They wanted Sony to give him their rights.
If you want to know something,
But-
we just signed a new deal for three more movies at least, like another trilogy.
When did that
series
happen?
Within the last 2
Look
months.
that up
Okay.
and show me the article because I want to see that because I know it didn't happen.
Well, I know
Because
that
Tom Holland's gonna do his own thing.
I know that they want him and
Tom
Venom.
Holland's done after this movie.
Yeah, they want him and Venom to be in a movie though, and he said he'd do
That's
that.
it. This
He
is
said
this
he'd
one.
do that one.
It's this one. It's gonna
No,
have,
after this one.
I don't think it's gonna happen.
No, he said that they said that they. I remember they said that Venom 2 is going to be where Spider-Man comes in, not Spider-Man 3.
Yeah, but Venom 2 is gonna come out.
Like there might be a
before Spider-Man.
hint to him.
Venom 2 is gonna come out before Spider-Man. Venom 2, I think.
So do you think Venom will be in the third movie? Because I kind of don't. If he's going to team up with him in that movie, then no, I don't think they put him in two
He
movies.
might make a cameo, but that's about it.
Because what would his role be right now in the MCU if they put?
I think in the third.
Like you got to think about it. How would they just introduce the symbiote
I think
into
in the
this
third
MCU?
movie,
How would that even
Spider-Man-
work?
I think in the third movie, Spider-Man dies, just like he did in fucking
Here's the deal. I'm gonna.
what's it called? Into the Spider-Verse.
Which one?
I think Tom Holland dies
What
as
is-
Spider-Man
No.
in the third one.
No.
What was?
Do you know what I
Who's the
think they'll
villain?
do?
I can.
You know what I
His
think they'll do?
character is gonna fucking
You don't think they'll
die
do?
off.
I think they'll put him into another if anything happens to him, I think they'll put him in another multiverse, like in another universe. Like he'll go live there because Zendaya dies, right? Her character dies, and the only living version of her is in another multiverse. He
Why
goes
would
to
you
live there.
kill off Mary Jane though?
Cause it's a good thing to do because
It's so
it
Subverts
essentially.
expectations.
No, but it'd essentially be like the Gwen Stacy thing, right? So like let's say like this is just my theory. If they're gonna write him off, this is how I do it, right? I'd say that they open a portal to it, like she dies, right? Let's just say like fucking Doc Ock or something, because we know he's in the movie, kills her, right? Let's just say Doc Ock or she gets Electro kills her.
He's the villain.
Doc Ock and Electro are the villains.
Electro again. Actually, I like
played by the same guy. Let's just say she gets electrocuted to death, right? She dies. She gets electrocuted by water, electricity, right? And then Doctor Strange, because he's in that movie, right? We know Doctor Strange is in it. He opens up a portal and he's like, "You can go and live here with." Just pause it. Oh. So essentially, what I was talking about, we had somebody come into the room. Is that I think if anything were to happen, I think they would kill off one of Spider-Man's loved ones, Aunt May, MJ, somebody like that. And since Doctor Strange is in the movie, he would open a portal to a different version of the multiverse where they were alive. Spider-Man would go in there, and he wouldn't have a choice to return because for some reason that portal couldn't be reopened. So that's if they were to write that out, if they were to write Spider-Man out, I feel like that'd be the right way to do it without killing him off. Now, Tom Holland. Tom Holland said after the title was revealed to be No Way Home that Marvel's Sony's new agreement is all but finalized. The papers haven't been fully written yet, but they're behind the scenes. He said this, and the issue.
He's lied to us. How many?
No, he wouldn't lie to us about something like that though. The two studios will keep sharing Spider-Man.
Actually, can't lie about something.
Yeah, the company's gonna be too pissed off. So it says, assuming that he isn't lying, Tom Holland. That's actually what they brought up. They said, assuming that he isn't lying. Tom Holland said after the title of Spider-Man 3 was revealed to be No Way Home that Marvel and Sony's new extended agreement is all but finalized, and the two studios will keep sharing Spider-Man without any issues in the MCU from now on. Sony's whole thought process behind the Sony Universe movie universe, movie universe, the one with Venom and Morbius, is that those films can, and as far as the casual viewers are concerned, do take place in the MCU. So explicitly establishing that it is a separate universe franchise would be confusing and counterintuitive. Tom Holland will appear as Spider-Man in both the MCU and the Venom, Morbius, and whatever movies come out in that universe, but won't be shown literally jumping between dimensions. So the casual viewer can just see them as one connected franchise.
Yeah.
So that's how they're going to do it. So yes, he will appear in Venom movies and Morbius 2 or whatever.
I can just see right
Yeah.
now. The end of No Way Home goes to a cutscene. You see a white Spider-Man takes his mask off, and it's Miles Morales.
In the white
I can
suit.
just see it right now.
They're
In the
gonna,
white
Rather than
suit?
the black
they're
suit.
gonna introduce.
Rather than the black suit.
I can just see it right now.
They're gonna introduce Miles Morales.
Well, here's the other thing. Michael Keaton's Vulture was actually in it was either the post credits trailer scene of Morbius. I think it was Morbius. Was in the post credits trailer scene of Morbius. Like he's already in that. We saw it. His Vulture, Adrian Toomes, was in Morbius. Like
So I guess
he
you
was in
can count
Morbius.
But I'm
I guess-
so ready for Miles Morales.
I guess you can count the Sony movies as like
They're MCU
they're,
offshoots.
they're MCU, but like they're just Spider-Man story. So like,
They're like side Spider-Man
It's in
stories.
association with.
But it's not
Yeah.
directly connected.
yeah. So they're canon, but they're not canon to like the overall. Like you won't
Sure.
hear the Guardians of the Galaxy talking about. Did you hear this Venom guy? Like
No, they'll be there. It's essentially like how Venom is right now.
Although they
It's
should,
connected to that
because the
universe.
symbiote did come from space. So you know.
Yeah, but essentially what's
but
going to happen is
There's so much they could do with the
You're
symbiote.
right though. What
It's
they
so
said,
underrated.
you won't hear fucking Wanda going, "Oh, Morbius did this," right? But
Yeah.
in Morbius, they have posters up that say Spider-Man No Way Home, or that say Spider-Man is a killer. They have posters of that, but they're using a different picture of Spider-Man because they're not allowed to use the one from the Marvel universe. So they're just using a drawing of Spider-Man.
Do you
They're
guys-
connected but not connected?
Do you guys
Does that
think
make sense?
it's, you guys think it's time to bring in Miles?
No.
The MCU.
Yeah.
No.
I think
Well, wait.
you could, but
Are Electro and Doctor Octopus confirmed? It's not.
Yes, they are 100%.
Yeah,
are they
they're-
teaming up or are they
It's
just by
not
the?
Craven.
Are they-
Their actors
they're-
are in Wikipedia.
Good, it should not be
It's,
Craven.
Yeah, they're confirmed.
I mean, I would like to see Craven in a movie, but he just wouldn't make sense right
Craven
now.
is also
He would
probably
make the
gonna be
most sense.
How?
No,
Like,
because Craven's gonna be hunting Spider-Man.
Yeah,
now because he's on the
exactly.
run. He's on the
he
run.
he can't hunt him if he knows his identity. It's not a hunt.
Yes, it is. Because
Yes,
he
it
has to
is
try
because
to
he
find
knows
him.
who he is, and he's
Oh.
going to try to find
And
him.
so essentially,
I
Craven. No,
guess.
so
It's not really hunting.
so it's because it's a multiverse movie.
It's like looking
because,
someone up online and showing
because
up
it's
their
a
house.
because it's a
But he
multiverse.
doesn't know where Spider-Man is.
Because it's a multiverse movie, they're bringing in just to show audiences that it is. They're bringing in the Electro from the Amazing Spider-Man universe.
Yeah.
Doc Ock from Spider-Man 2, and there might be Tobey Maguire in it.
How,
We don't know.
Well, how do we know that?
Because it's literally in the casting list. Like they were confirmed by
yeah.
like Deadline and Hollywood Reporter.
No,
Yes.
Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield.
What if they just play different
You
characters?
know what I think No Way Home is? I think No Way Home is literally Spider-Man jumping from multiverse to multiverse.
It has
because
to
he is so hunted in his own realm that he literally cannot go back there.
be. I actually think No Way Home
There's
is
no
what
way.
you said it is. I think he's going to be stuck. That has to be
Yeah,
what it
And that's
is.
his
No
end.
Way Home.
That's
I think I don't
And
think
that's
it's
the end of Spider-Man.
You see, and you see,
No,
That's the end of
no,
Peter Parker's
I don't
Spider-Man.
know that's going to be the end of him. I think what's just going to happen is that's what the movie's going to be about. It's like he's probably going to jump in between different realities because he's, like Tyler said, his identity just got released. His whole world's going to change. He's probably not going to want to handle it right away, knowing this version of Spider-Man doesn't seem to want to step up. And, heck, he's not even Spider-Man because in Far From Home, that scene where, like, Nick Fury's like, hey, you got a duty to protect the people here. And he's like, no, I don't. Like, that's not Spider-Man. That's what I hate to see sometimes.
Just imagine this though. Just imagine at the end he gets, and they bring him back. They bring Tom Holland's Peter Parker back, but older in his 20s now because he's been gone for a few years. And what they do at the end of No Way Home is he gets stuck, and then you see Doctor Strange, and the movie ends. And then in the end credit scene, you see Miles Morales throw on a backpack and a little shitty, and like a little homemade mask
think he's
sticking out
gonna
of
be
his
stuck
backpack
there
and walk
forever.
off the screen. No, I'm saying they'll bring him back. Like for another Avengers movie or something,
Well,
like he'll
they're-
find a way out.
They're
Because
going
he's
to bring
smart.
Miles Morales because PlayStation made just so much money.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
though? Imagine that
off of
end credit
fucking
scene.
Miles Morales game.
Imagine mid credits. All you see is a black hand.
Shoebox.
Is a black hand like a black kid doesn't show his face. It's just because I haven't cast him yet or something. It's just an extra or something, right? But you see a black kid walk by. You can see his hand and arm. It shows that he's
I
black.
don't think they should put him in his. I don't think they should do him in. I think they should give him.
I
his
think
own
it should
movie.
just be a suit. Just so a different colored suit.
No, I don't think they do
That's
that
what I think it
because
should be.
Or his own movie.
they're gonna give Miles Morales his origin story in the live action. They're not. They didn't do it for Peter Parker because we've seen it like 10 times. But for Miles, they're gonna do it. And what they're probably gonna
Hell,
do,
Spider-Verse even makes fun of that.
what they're probably honestly going to do is they're going to just have him have one of his shitty homemade masks or a Spider-Man fan thing, a black kid walking by with a Spider-Man fan poster, or like a crumpled up like wanted poster.
It's gonna be some kind of hint.
I don't think they should have a hint.
I'll tell you what. Marvel,
unless it's in the movie.
Marvel has all the leverage because Sony could literally do whatever they want. Sony fucks.
Okay, we gotta move this.
Sony fucks every movie up. Let's be real.
Yeah.
They fuck everything up when it comes to movies. But with the MCU, they could literally just fucking set up anything right now with Miles Morales, and it would turn to gold because the MCU will turn it that way.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas Sony,
He's a very popular
if
character.
Sony takes that character and spins it off, they're not going to be able to do it on their own. That's why they have Marvel. That's why they released the Miles Morales game. That game sold fucking millions of copies, even on its first day. And honestly, it's literally the same game as Spider-Man. Except for it's a fucking black Spider-Man, and he can do a little more than the normal Spider-Man can do.
Is he
He can
more
turn invisible.
Is he more powerful?
He can turn invisible.
Is he
He
more
can
powerful than
shock people.
I wouldn't say so. I mean, I say
No.
I guess maybe is.
He's more. He's more like. He's more relatable Spider-Man because it's not just the white kid from the Bronx. It's a black kid from the Bronx who literally lost his uncle because he was working for fucking Rhino. Or not Rhino, Kingpin. And he
Not necessarily
lost
make
his
him more
fucking
relatable.
father because he was on the police force.
Yeah.
And it's they're gonna try to cater to a different audience. And I respect it because Marvel's gonna do this thing. Marvel's gonna do the exact thing it needs to do, and that's make a good movie.
Do you guys think that they should bring the Kingpin actor from Netflix back?
No.
No. I think they should bring the Kingpin into the MCU at some
They
point
should.
someday.
They-
Probably recast
Who are
him.
they gonna
And
find?
that's
Is it gonna be
Miles
CGI? Or
Morales
who are they
is-
gonna find to do that?
They have to do CGI.
Just a little bit of
Because
CGI.
he's so.
You have to find a
big.
big guy and do some CGI, kind of like Thanos.
Yeah.
It's the
No,
only
he's
way.
bigger than Thanos.
Oh,
Yeah, well, I meant like you know how they
big
do.
he was in
Yeah.
fucking Spider-Verse?
He's like 7 feet tall and
No, he's
weighs
big.
probably like
It's like
500 pounds.
Just like when you make a Thanos or Galactus, there's gonna have to be a ton of CGI. You can't have that character just be a big
He's-
muscle dude.
big dude.
he was a big muscle dude in Daredevil though. It's a big old dude with muscles.
Yeah,
But he was short, which made the character.
doesn't feel as
Do
king
you
pity.
guys?
Yeah.
So there's also a rumor that they're bringing back I don't remember what his name is. Daredevil, just the lawyer, Matt Murdock. They're bringing back Matt Murdock and
Yeah,
Peter Parker's
he's
lawyer.
going to be a part. Yeah, I actually heard that.
But they're bringing back that actor, Charlie Cox, as
And
Matt Murdock.
he's going to be introduced as well into the MCU.
Do you
think
guys
so?
hear-
Yeah,
Daredevil might actually be a part of the new.
Are you
Avengers.
guys okay with them using Charlie Cox as Daredevil?
What is
the one from
Daredevil's
Netflix?
powers?
He can kick people and he's blind.
I would not be. I wouldn't mind it. I mean, Daredevil
He
is
has like unsubstantial
Daredevil.
like senses.
Yeah,
Oh.
Like
Besides sight,
he's
but he
blind.
can sonic see. He can see like a bat.
he goes like this on, like,
Yeah,
and he can just.
He's blind, but all of his
he's
other
like
senses
Batman,
are super
but he wears
enhanced.
a red suit and
He's Marvel's Batman.
yeah.
Yeah,
Really?
Except for he's also a lawyer who's a
and he
sucky
does
lawyer.
tangle with the Kingpin. He actually teams up with Spider-Man in some of the.
Wait, I have a question. Do you guys think they're going to use Moon Knight and Blade for anything? Because those are two things that are confirmed to come
Blade's
up.
gonna be moved into the new Avengers probably too.
What about Moon Knight?
So,
They're already filming it.
I don't think
What is Blade?
it's a
even
TV
about?
show.
yeah, I know. I was about to ask, like,
Blade's a
does anyone
vampire.
care
Blade's a
about
vampire who killed vampires.
But that's what Morbius.
Blade?
That's what
It
Morbius
doesn't sound
is.
MCU like. It
It
sounds
doesn't
kind of
sound-
RPG video game
it
stuff,
sounds
like
like
Skyrim or
something
something.
No, they're bringing in Moon Knight.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
they're bringing in Blade. Like those are both confirmed for the next 2 years.
Moon Knight is a TV series.
Yes, it's on Disney Plus.
I'm not gonna lie, Blade
It's not
sounds
gonna
kinda
be.
I mean, it might be dope, but it just doesn't
I don't
sound.
think
dumb. It
it's
just
gonna be in the
doesn't seem
movies.
like superpower. You
No.
know, like
Sounds like
badass.
sounds like something you hear off a video game.
Sounds like
Yes.
somebody who has a midlife
Here's the reason
crisis,
why he's a
killing
badass.
their own beings.
Because he's a vampire that fights vampires, and he's a good vampire that doesn't
Yeah.
drink blood, doesn't do all this shit. Like, he's trying to be unlike.
How good do you think the movie will be?
I think it's gonna be better than the
Has
fucking
potential.
regular Blade movie.
That is.
Oh, I heard there was a different Blade movie. Actually, I remember
There
there.
is.
Did
Wesley
it?
Snipes.
Yeah.
There was 1, 2, and 3. Ryan Reynolds was in number 3.
Yep. They had a black dude play him. I remember. Yeah.
Pause it.
Wesley Snipes. He's the black.
Oh, alrighty, ladies and gentlemen. That'll do it for today. Thanks for tuning in to our Four Corners podcast. Make sure to like and subscribe. Turn on that bell for notifications, and we'll see you next time.
Peace.
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 That was late.